Hey guys, welcome to the Property Panel Podcast. You got myself, Jalen Hardcastle, here with co-host Josh Story, and of course we got producer Ethan behind the scenes. So thank you for coming at us for episode 15. Hard to believe we're already 15 weeks in. And I'm sure, as you've seen in the description, we got a little funny episode today. It's over Mcdonald's real estate, which we'll dive into a little bit after Josh gives our title sponsors a little shout out.
Yeah, I want to thank our title sponsors for today's episode. I want to give a big shout out to Collier Title Company. They do deed prep, title work, closings, and more. They're located in Brandenburg, E-Town, and Louisville. You can call them at 270-763-6589. And then I want to give a big shout out to Chad Gooden at Supreme Lending. If you have any lending questions or if you're trying to get approved FHA, VA, conventional, and more, he's located off of North Mulberry Street in E-Town. And then for this week's sponsor, I want to thank T&J Construction. They've been in business since 2009. If you need roofing, guttering, or construction, you can reach them at 270-668-2806.
Yeah, thank you guys for giving us those monthly sponsors and weekly sponsors. That helps us tremendously. And I know we said it, but we've been kind of busy here lately, but we do have enough money now to where we can actually start redesigning the podcast a little bit thanks to you guys. And even as far as you guys just liking, sharing, subscribing, what have you, it helps us out tremendously and it costs nothing. So if you would just go ahead while we're sitting here, go ahead, like, share, subscribe, comment, even give us a comment, whether it's funny or whether it's an actual question. We would greatly appreciate that as well. But you or anyone you know looking to be a monthly, weekly, or yearly sponsor, you can give us a call at the numbers behind us. Send us a message on Facebook or shoot us an email, and that's 100 weekly, 300 monthly, and 3,000 yearly. And in a couple months, like I said, we are going to reevaluate that price and up that a little bit because as we're getting more recognition, get more views, and actually we're about to be going live on TikTok now through our Streamlabs. We just had an opportunity arise where usually you have to have 1,000 followers on there to go live, but Streamlabs is offering us kind of a one-off deal, which is kind of cool. I just noticed today. So hopefully next week we'll be live on all 3 platforms. Yep. And then obviously we're going to still post on Apple Music, and I think we're getting our Spotify working next week. So we're actually going to be on 5 or 6 different platforms going next week. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, so I guess we'll dive into today's episode. We're going to be going over McDonald's real estate. And believe it or not, they're one of the biggest real estate owners in the country.
Not just known for flipping burgers.
In the world. Yeah.
Yeah, in the world.
But I'm going to dive into the origins of McDonald's. They actually started in 1940 with Richard and Maurice McDonald in San Bernardino, California. Those 2 brothers, they ended up innovating what's called a speedy service system, which kind of, helped along the modern fast food service.
The fast food.
Modern fast food service. They kind of innovated that space, but later on, they ended up, kind of getting taken over by a guy named Ray Kroc. who was actually a partner of theirs through several franchises, and then I guess ended up wanting to expand more than they wanted to, which there's a whole like documentary about it.
Give it a watch. It's very interesting.
Yeah,
I know most of us probably seen the, what was it, Super Size Me or something like that. 30 days of straight McDonald's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I mean, I'm basically him. As much as I hate McDonald's, I've been trying to eat it less, but even me and Ethan, I remember, going to school and I would stay over at him and his mom's house. We would hit McDonald's every morning, and he'd get an egg cheese biscuit, or no cheese, just egg biscuit. The weirdest thing in the world.
Egg biscuit.
And I'd get the chicken biscuit, the second weirdest thing in the world, but they were so good. But I will say that I think McDonald's has gone downhill, at least in our area. We travel a lot, so I do try McDonald's in different parts of the nation, and their chicken biscuits are what I get. I go there to breakfast almost every morning, religiously almost. And but the chicken biscuits have gone downhill, and I don't know who to talk to. But if you know, please give us a comment because I'm trying to raise some hell. The chicken biscuits gone downhill. You still get the egg biscuits?
Oh yeah,
You do.
oh yeah.
Egg and biscuit.
Just egg and biscuit, bro.
Egg and biscuit.
Totally
Can't
dry.
pass out.
Totally dry.
It's not dry. Well, depends on how long it's been sitting there.
I usually get I don't like breakfast in general, but I usually get the number 7 for lunch.
That's why I get the chicken biscuit.
cheeseburgers.
I don't like breakfast either.
Yeah, I can't do it. I just
For lunch, I'm either getting the 10-piece or I'm getting the McChicken.
I like the McChicken. That's always been a good.
Garrett, who used to be a
option.
sponsor on the show, he taught me that it's called the McGangbang. And so you you put a McChicken sandwich with a McDouble, I think it is, and squish those together, put some fries on that thing, and dude, that is solid. I don't even like their burgers for real. Like, I ain't just gonna order a McDonald's burger. I only eat their chicken, which is probably even worse than their burgers. I've seen it's like pink sludge. So I mean, that's probably why I've gained all this weight, and then a few of these I'm sure didn't help along the way. But also shout out to Ethan. We didn't even mention that last week, which I know we recorded post-production, but actually last week was Ethan's 21st birthday, so let's give him a little birthday shout out here. Go ahead and let's take a look at you, Ethan. Let's go ahead and see. He doesn't like to be on camera. But how did your birthday go?
It went well. I can't complain. We went to the casino.
And you came out a big winner, I hear?
About $30.
Hey, that's more than most people could say.
I usually leave losing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I always am like, I got a game plan this time. Like, I know exactly what I messed up on last time. No. I throw it out the window. As soon as I have a few beers in me, it's like, money gone. ATM, here I come.
I honestly, I got better the more drinks I had in me.
Did you just play the slots? Or
Just play the slots.
you didn't play no blackjack or nothing?
Oh, no.
Hey, we actually
Seems
got a
little too
comment
complicated.
from Karen. She said, "What about some sweet tea?"
Oh, my goodness.
I know
That
you
is-
boys love sweet tea.
I keep McDonald's in business. Thank you, Karen, for actually bringing up those memories. And I still to this day, like, I don't like their breakfast, but I'll go just for a sweet tea anymore. And that sounds terrible. And especially, I've done the math. Obviously, we're in real estate. We like to know the numbers. I spend way too much money on some McDonald's, especially just sweet teas. I would guarantee I should invest in stock of McDonald's because as much sweet tea.
Imagine if you got like a little piece of stock every time you bought.
That would be sweet. They should offer that to me. I mean, I think.
That sounds like a good plan. Go ahead.
How about our McDonald's raising the price of the sweet tea?
Yeah,
to what?
Yeah, so like
$1.79.
oh, they raised
What
it
was
again?
Yeah.
I've been wondering why my meal's so expensive. I'm like, it grew like $1. It grew
Yeah.
$2 in the last year. I used to go get my whole meal for $5 at McDonald's, and then it went to like $6, and now it's like $7.30 when I went this morning. I about questioned the cashier. I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, you did something wrong."
A Dairy Queen mini blizzard is
Oh my gosh,
$4.
Don't get me started on Dairy
I got
Queen.
a mini blizzard today. It was
For my meal at Dairy
$4.
Queen, it's like $15. I'm
Yeah.
like, just for breakfast.
Yeah, you can go to an actual sit-down restaurant for that.
It is crazy what fast food has gone to. And what's even crazier is the information we're about to provide you through the real estate market through McDonald's. Like we said, they're not just flipping burgers. McDonald's, they're actually growing their business off real estate and landlording, marketing these properties out.
Which
Hey, we might need to take her up on that option. I mean, that's free breakfast.
Definitely will.
hey, what about me? I don't get
She
breakfast.
said you both. That's
Yeah,
that's dose
Dose.
double.
Just
That's two
left out.
people.
I get left out.
Yeah,
It's okay.
I'll
That's
pay
okay.
for yours.
Oh, thank you. Before we dive into some of the facts, I want to finish a few things. So actually, before the Golden Arches was the main logo, it was actually a hamburger-headed chef who was referred to as Speedy.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
crazy.
Switched to the Golden Arches in 1962, and then Ronald McDonald came around in 1963. But later down the road, actually, but right before that, what's his name again? Ray Kroc. He ended up purchasing McDonald's for $2.7 million, which back in 1961, that's quite a bit of money. Yeah. Which I know you had mentioned something about the royalties of the original McDonald's have expired.
Yeah, so that's kind of like a fun little fact. At the end of the episode, we're going to go over a few, but if we have some points that are brought up, we might go ahead and nail them in there. But that is something that I didn't even know until I was doing a little bit of research on this today. The original McDonald's family that started the company, they do not get royalties any longer. They sold the company, like you said, to that man, and they no longer profit off of that. And back then, though, that $2 million was probably equal to 50, 60 million in today's market.
From what I understand, they kind of wanted to keep it more of a small business. Mm-hmm. So at the time, they sold it 9 locations, and Ray Kroc, he had bigger aspirations. He wanted to make it a worldwide business, and I think he's the one who actually discovered that McDonald's isn't a hamburger restaurant; it's a real estate business ultimately. I mean, that's really what they were aiming for. That's why you see a McDonald's on like every street corner in every city. And
actually, I know we've mentioned this in our investments. Starbucks and McDonald's are like the 2 biggest companies growing right now in the United States, and they're more real estate companies than what most people think. Fast food companies. And so I always tell investors, especially wholesalers in different states, when I'm talking to my investors across the nation, I'm like, hey, if you want to find a property or an investment property, look for where a Starbucks is being built or a McDonald's is being built, because that's where that community is growing. And as you can see in Radcliffe, a few years ago, that was the 3rd highest crime rated city in Kentucky, and now we got a Starbucks in Radcliffe. We got one in E-Town. We actually got 2 in E-Town now, one in the Target and then one right there next to the Target, basically. That's how, and they're investing in these properties. I'd say before long, with the steel mill and stuff coming in, Brandenburg will have a Starbucks. I'd say within the next 5 years, I'd put money on it.
Do you think, Brandenburg?
I think
That's
so.
what I was about to ask.
Listen, boy.
Brandenburg is growing quite a bit. I wouldn't be surprised.
And people are mad, but at the same time, it is what it is. We can't change it. Let's get with the times, and especially on prices. People have been really getting driven up about the prices of, like we said, fast food's even going up. Everything is going up in today's world. Other than, I think, on the slowest scale is minimum wage and the pay or salary that people are making. So honestly, what are we to do? We can't just keep on giving people more money and then, expect it to change. We got to adapt to the times, right. Invest what we can, and, make the most money we can.
Right. And really,
that's what we're here for.
Typically when like a minimum wage is raised, that just causes more inflation. The price of milk or groceries or
and then
McDonald's
same with like the interest rates. People are like, oh, I want the interest rates to drop. Okay. You want your house to be worth more, and you want to pay for more house and still have the same monthly payment with a lower interest rate, right? It's all coincides, so it is what it is. But I guess we should get back on task.
Well, I think too, with Brandenburg growing, we might not see it just yet, but like Nucor's brought a lot of higher paying jobs, and I feel like with Blue Oval and all that, like there's going to be more options for high paying jobs. So,
and a cool statistic, kind of to your point, I remember, I work with a lot of investors, so like it kind of pains me to say that some of these realtors that are selling, in these higher end areas, selling 10, 20 houses a year, are getting the same volume, like 7-8 million that I've gotten in past years for me selling 50 homes. My average sale price is about 100,000, which I've noticed has increased to about 150, 200,000 because I've also gotten, more clients as a whole anyways, but right. The prices of homes are going up. I got investors mad for paying double wides over 100,000 to flip. And I'm like, hey, you used to get them for 60,000, but they resell for 150, 160,000. Now they're reselling 230,000, so it's crazy what is going on, and it is, but what do you do other than adapt?
Well, unfortunately, so I got like, several clients right now who are approved under like the 125 range, and they're looking for 3-bedroom in Meade County, and that's just really hard to come by. They do come up sometimes, but not often.
You should show them that one right there. It's on the Meade County line. Are they worried about schools, or why do they want to be in Meade County? They got kids?
Yeah.
How
schools.
old?
I think they're just in like elementary.
Tell them to write up their parents' address or something. Come on, sell the house for me, Josh.
Can't you make some sort of agreement?
You actually can get your kids to go to whatever school you want now. It used to be you'd have to like sign at a different address, but
the bus might be a problem.
The bus is the issue. That is an issue.
Okay,
so it's not for everyone, but it is a possibility.
Right. I guess we'll move on to some McDonald's facts, Jay. If you want to kick
Karen
it off.
said you're included, Josh.
Oh, sweet.
You're included. Free meal for everyone.
breakfast.
Property Panel Podcast.
I'll take you up on that.
There we go. We'll write you a receipt. You'll get a little, tax write-off. But yeah, so obviously Josh broke down that, McDonald's was founded actually as a real estate company. And although they do make millions and billions selling burgers each and every year, their main profit is real estate. And actually about McDonald's itself owns 70% of their buildings worldwide and only 45% of the land it sits on. And what they actually do is kind of do the landlording stuff like we talked about with Joe P a few episodes ago. And they will leverage all of these properties. And, they're up to actually 50,000 acres across the world. 50,000 acres. I would love to just own 50. What about 50,000, And that puts them actually at top 5 in the world of one of the largest real estate companies in worldwide, ahead of
That's
Remax. Huh?
I said that's.
I thought you said that's a lie. I was like, no, I looked this up.
That's a lot of acres. Side note, I know that's kind of off topic, but I didn't know this, but Walt Disney World in Florida, they bought 27,000 acres, so they haven't even used a fraction. So their parks is sitting on 27,000 acres.
I watch I watch these YouTubers. I'm a big fisher. Me and Josh used to fish a lot, and I watch Dangling with Dev and people like that, and they'll actually sneak in. They buy the passes for the resort or whatever, but they'll go and fish the abandoned ponds around the facility, and you're not technically allowed to, but man, they'll pull out some monsters out of there. That's pretty cool. Untouched. Yeah, and it's like you said, it's untouched. People are ran off, but I've seen probably 10-15 pound bass pulled out of there on YouTube. Which is it real?
That's in Florida bass.
I'm calling y'all out.
That's in Florida bass. They get lucky.
Yeah, them Florida bass. I mean, that's them. They literally call them. What do they call them? It's like FBs or something. It's a funny name. I haven't watched Fishing with Norm or Dangling with Dev in a minute, but because we turn to golf nowadays.
Yeah,
I like golf.
Ethan, both.
What'd you shoot? You say last time?
Let's not talk about it.
I haven't shot solo.
Me and Josh shot our best ever, which isn't impressive to some, but we shot a 77 together, which it's doubles. But we just started golfing about this time last year, if not later in the year.
The time before that, I shot my first eagle.
Yes.
Before I shot my first birdie.
Yeah, have you even still got your birdie yet?
No. I shot an eagle before I shot a birdie.
That is crazy.
Yeah. On a par 5. I drove probably 250.
It was hole 15 at Doe Valley, the one down through the valley and up through the hill.
Drove about 250, hit my 3-wood onto the green, and then putted like a 20-foot putt.
It was probably more than 20. It was like 30, 40-foot putt. You was on the fringe, and that's a big green. That's one of the biggest greens they got on the courses. But like we said, McDonald's, they own about 50,000 acres, and 15% of all of the franchises is ran directly by McDonald's. And I also read a statistic on there that they're actually trying to get that they only directly run about 5% because, like I said, they make their money in real estate. So they're wanting to have them landlord out these properties. And later on in the show, I think you'll be amazed
they're
about
property managers now.
Yeah, exactly. Essentially, that's what they are. And I think you'll be amazed at how much their monthly rent is, how much the cost is to get one, even if it's already built. And a fun fact actually is that most McDonald's are closed down in the first 2 years if they're not successful, which I think 2 years is a kind of like a common market in the or margin in the real estate market, because even that's the same quota for realtors and lenders alike. Most lenders are going to quit and realtors are going to quit within their first 2 years if they're going to. If not, they're going to move on and be successful and run it. So I guess in the real estate market about 2 years, and that makes sense with your house and your taxes that you would pay on those profits. If you were to sell before 2 years, you'd get taxed at about 25%.
This fact kind of blew my mind. A new McDonald's is opened every 15 hours.
That is pretty wild.
Every 15 hours there's a new McDonald's. That's just wild.
And they take on average 12 weeks to build, breaking ground to built, ready to go. And I believe that ours was due in 90 days, which is about that 12-week mark. And it took about 2 weeks after that 90 days, and it was built. And they deconstructed one and rebuilt it. So that's even more impressive because they actually had to demo a whole building to rebuild. And they demoed the parking lot. They demoed everything. It was literally just rocks.
Crews. They must have crews that just do McDonald's.
Actually, which we'll go over on how to get started in the franchise is, McDonald's, you have to have up to about $2 million to get one started. Just the franchise fee alone is about $45,000. And then just the startup fee, to do everything else is about 2 to 300,000 and up to 2 million after all the miscellaneous costs and everything, which we'll break down later in the show. But I thought that was pretty crazy, and they want you to have 30 to 40% of that non-borrowed assets, like liquidation. So you have to have 30 to 40% of $2 million non-borrowed.
That's wild.
And that would be, I mean, that's about $800,000 of liquid cash. I mean, not too many people have that, but it is one of the most profitable companies in the world. And
which one of those franchises can make you up to $160K per year?
Yeah. So,
I mean,
just being like a manager.
I think you told me like the average payoff's about 8 to 10 years or somewhere.
Yeah, so 8.5 years is about the return on investment if you were to purchase McDonald's and it wasn't to go under. But you also have to have people that are willing to go get it. They got to be smart, and they have to be savvy with their money, and they have to be frugal. And honestly, even just the lifestyle that they live, just as far as lodging, traveling, getting those trainings and stuff like that, that's going to cost you about, $10,000 to $30,000 in just lodging fees, training fees, and all that stuff. So a lot of people are like, ooh, and even with Chick-fil-A, which makes it sound enticing, I think it's like a $10,000, $20,000 franchise fee, which is super low. But also, as we'll discuss later, like McDonald's fee per month is only 5%, whereas Chick-fil-A's is 15%. And, we love the Lord's chicken, but at the same time, I love Chick-fil-A. Actually, more than McDonald's. But, you have to. And the reason we're going over the McDonald's real estate game is because it's impressive what they've done. They did it basically, like you said, property managing, and then these people had to resort to flipping burgers because that's the most profitable thing to do at that time whenever McDonald's really started making a hit. And then they opened more locations and more franchises, and then it grew into the multi-billion-dollar company that it is today.
They have 40,031 restaurants worldwide.
Yeah, and they have over
quite a few.
$42 billion in assets worldwide. So that's as far as property as a whole. They have $42 billion. If they were to go bankrupt today, they'd have 42, or if they were to sell out today, they'd have 42 million in just real estate.
They
not
serve
billion,
not million.
Get me right, guys. Come on.
Speaking of
it's getting hot in here.
Speaking of millions, they serve 70 million customers daily. That's a lot of people.
70 million.
I mean, the amount of people that go through that drive-through, just in Brandenburg, I mean, that's probably like a quarter of the count.
So take this into effect, too. So McDonald's alone made $15.4 billion last year in revenue, and almost $10 million of that revenue was just in rent. Just what these people pay to rent out these buildings, they made over half their revenue.
That's wild.
So that goes to show that they're not just out here flipping patties. They're selling houses, or restaurants, commercial spaces. They're selling their name,
location.
And that's why you want to follow those people, because McDonald's ain't going to just allow anyone. I mean, obviously, they're going to, anyone can apply, but not everyone gets accepted, and you have to have the right company, which there are certain companies in place that can help you fund these projects if that's something you're interested in.
When I think of McDonald's, I think of location. I mean, I feel like they have the best locations in every city. They're on, most of the main streets. If you're driving, let's say you're driving cross country, there's only like a few exits in between each McDonald's sign.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that they try on the interstate to get one every mile, which is about every exit, you know. And obviously, if you don't see a McDonald's on that exit, it's probably not the place to buy. That's just a little hack that we can give you right there. But if you were to be an owner of a franchise, you can make on average about $160,000 a year. And to pay off that debt takes about 8.5 years, like we mentioned earlier in the podcast.
That's not bad at all.
No, I mean, usually on our rentals, we try to do them in 5, but at worst, you're going to do a 10-year rental if it just makes sense. So to see that you could pay off, $3 million in 8.5 years, that shows that the company's bringing in money.
Buying McDonald's.
If I had the money up front, I definitely would. I ain't got 30-40% of $2 million in my pocket, unfortunately. I need to sell a few more houses first.
Ethan, what's the time looking like?
We are looking about 28 minutes.
We think dive into a break, or
let's
start our next segment.
Yeah, let's go on how to get started, and then we'll dive into the break, because we've already kind of touched base on that a little bit. Like I said, the franchise fee was $45,000. And then the initial investment is anywhere, depending where you're trying to buy into, is on average $500,000 to $2.3 million. An existing cost of over $1 million. That's including your startup. That's including your miscellaneous fees, your equipment, even as far as your logos, your designs, your seating, all that stuff you have to come up with whether it's through loan, but either way, you're going to have 40% of however much that cost up front.
How long do you have to pay that off?
And actually McDonald's, so it says that you can get return on your investment in 8.5 years, but McDonald's requires you and has a contract with you to pay it off in 7 years. So you have to be breaking even in 7 years, and then you have to. That's where I think they get that 8.5 year mark on your return on investment.
And they start taking like franchise fees, or they
they start with that. You have to pay a 5% fee off your total revenue every single month. And that's as far as like your food sales and stuff like that,
right,
on top of your monthly rent, which rent is up to $230,000 per month, and you have to have 3 months of rent in advance. And people are tripping over having 3 months rent of $900 or 1 month rent. I'm sorry, just a security deposit in last month's rent, and then you got McDonald's over here charging 3 months rent for $230,000.
Just the seating, the signage, and all that stuff, I feel like that could cost a lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
so as far as just the signing, or whatever the heck you just said, the signing. They're signing signatures on all those contracts because they're so rich. But it costs anywhere between about $330,000 to $1 million just to buy the signs, the equipment, the seating, the decor, everything that goes into a McDonald's. That's on average about what it costs across the world.
And you got inventory.
Yeah,
Every restaurant has inventory.
Yeah, your inventory is going to cost anywhere between $15,000 to $40,000.
And that's just to start off, because inventory
you got
runs
a bunch
out,
of equipment, you got a bunch
bad.
of food. It's a lot of money, and then just in miscellaneous operating expenses, like we said, even in flips, we got to go ahead and put $5,000 to $10,000 in miscellaneous. They went ahead and did miscellaneous expenses on average about $50,000 to $60,000 a year.
What do you think's in that?
I would say
Bills
just like, especially ice cream repair machine, because none of their ice cream machines freaking work.
I bet $50K of that, or $40K of that.
Yeah, $40K of it's just ice cream machines. I can never get a soft serve. I was actually at McDonald's this morning, and this guy asked for a milkshake. It was 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, and the lady was like, "Our milkshake machine's broken." And I was like, "I just watched a video of Tyler Oliveira going and harass the McDonald's CEO over their ice cream machine." I was like, of course, the first McDonald's I walk to after is broken.
Employees just don't want to make them.
And actually, you should go watch Tyler's video I told you this morning. And some of them will say that they're just too lazy. They're like, oh, it's broke. But also, what is crazy, so the ice cream company that makes the machines has like a patent or something on it. So they are the only people that can actually service those machines, and they have kind of like a car. If you're overdue on your oil change, if the ice cream machine hasn't been cleaned in like 4 or 5 hours, it puts it into like a not self-destructive, but like a self-saving mode, and it'll like not let you make ice cream until you fix it. And then a lot of those people think that it's actually the ice cream machine being broken, so they're going to be calling out the company to fix them. So that's something I thought was kind of crazy.
A pretty smart company.
Yeah, it is a pretty smart company right there. And, for them to be in with McDonald's, one of the other highest companies.
They're getting a piece of the pie.
But like we said, those traveling expenses and stuff are up to $30,000 a month just to get started. And then they say that you should fund up to 3 months to stay afloat, which is about $80,000 to $350,000 just to stay afloat for about 3 months.
Probably not a first business.
And then ongoing costs, like I said, at minimum, they're going to do a 4% fee, which they're raising to 5% this year, plus the monthly rent of $230,000. So Google how much, on average, a McDonald's makes a month, and let's add that to the $230,000 of 5% of what the revenue is, because that's, I would have to say, upwards to $400,000 or $500,000 a month.
Let's see. No, that's salary.
Yeah. But also, another fun fact is that 82% of all revenue actually goes to McDonald's, and the actual owners of the franchise only get about 16%. So that's actually stated in their 7-year contract too. So after that, we'll have to do a little more searching. Actually,
okay. Annually, they generate about 2 to 2.5 million in sales.
So 5% of that is
equates to 5,000 to 7,000 per day. 5% of what?
It's about $200,000 a month.
So yeah, about 400,000, 500,000 you're going to be paying just to McDonald's to keep your business going. So
I mean, hey, they're always busy. I've never seen a McDonald's not busy.
Wait, you said it's 4% of their monthly revenue.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Ethan's on it. He's producing things.
Hey,
he's our producer, boys.
So that's in reality only like 8,000.
A month.
It's 4% of 200,000.
Is only. It definitely 4,000. That'd be like 8,000. Or
Well,
did you
times
say
that-
8,000?
8,000.
Oh,
Times
yeah,
that
yeah.
by 40,000 locations.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're gonna get
Times that by
get high
40,000
numbers.
Yeah.
But
You get
still,
your
But
numbers.
that's just for the fee.
Right.
But then the rent's so much.
rent.
Yeah.
That's what adds up.
I'm
Ethan's
sure there's
spitting
more
the
to
facts
it.
for us. I like this. I like you, Ethan.
'Cause I got the annual of like 2.4, 2.5.
Pull our Facebook up real
million.
quick, Josh, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Any more comments? Nope. Okay. One thing we will ask, we are about to go to intermission. Josh is about to give his little spiel over our sponsors, which we appreciate you so much. And go ahead, while we're on
us
this
a
little
comment.
intermission, leave us a comment, a like, subscribe. But any questions you may have, funny, our favorite food for McDonald's, what we don't like about McDonald's, or how long the damn lines are at McDonald's, we don't care. Just give us a comment, and we'd be happy to
Checking.
answer.
Checking the YouTube.
YouTube looking good? No comments there?
Nope.
That
Comment
is
on
okay.
YouTube as well.
Yeah, comment. Give us a subscribe on YouTube. That'd be helpful. And then also, if you'd like to see any guests come on the show, I know we don't really mention this, but if you have someone that you think would do well on the show, we'd be happy to have them on. So just leave a comment below, send us a DM, or give us a call, and we'd be happy to work with them and maybe get them on the show. But you want to go ahead and give a thanks to our sponsors?
Yeah, before we dive into our break, I'm going to give a thanks to our title sponsors. Big shout out to Collier Title Company. If you need deed prep, title work, closings, and more, they're located in Brandenburg, E-Town, and Louisville. You can call them at 270-763-6589. And I'd like to give a big shout out to Chad Gooden at Supreme Lending. If you have any lending questions, or if you're trying to get approved FHA, VA, conventional, and more, he's located off of North Mulberry Street in E-Town. And then for this week's sponsor, I want to give a big shout out to T&J Construction. They're local out of Mee County. They've been in business since 2009. If you need any construction work, roofing, or guttering, you can give them a call at 270-668-2806.
Welcome back to the Property Panel Podcast. Thank you for staying with us during that brief intermission. And thank you for going over our sponsors before we left. I think we had one interesting comment while we was gone.
You got a comment?
Yes, we did. From Melina, we have, how often do you get McDonald's without me? And that is referring to Josh.
Oops.
Probably like maybe twice, 3 times a week.
Oh, 2 or 3 times a whole week?
Depends on how hungry I am, I guess. But,
That's fair enough.
I'm hungry some days, Got to get some McDonald's.
I get McDonald's at least 2 to 3 times a week. At least. That's going to be the bare minimum. And if not, I'm probably going to go into withdrawals.
I say 2 times a week, but, sometimes it's because I go to Dairy Queen, so...
Hey, yeah. You switch it up. He'll be in here. He'll go in his little office like he's a little turtle or something in his hole, and he's like in there munching. I walk past. I'm like, oh, he's eating. I was like, I thought he was mad at me for a second. He's always in there eating. No, I love McDonald's, and I do, and I love them even more that they're a real estate company because obviously we love real estate. We love
they're doing it the best,
building our business, and actually, I did look at some of the pros and cons, and it showed like all these cons on McDonald's, which it's a Google one, and it's probably opinionated, but it was like their business model, they're this, they're that, and I was like, they're literally one of the biggest businesses in the world, and that's one of the cons about them, probably because it's too much to get started,
Oh yeah.
But jumping back into it, obviously, like we said, some costs are 25 to 45% cash non-borrowed. You have to pay that 3 months rent in advance, and then you have to purchase the equipment and other initial costs. So, like we said, that's up to about $2 to $3 million startup fees, along with the $45,000, franchise fee.
It makes sense to me. I mean, like just buying the land in Brandenburg would be quite a bit of money just to get started.
Yeah, I mean, actually,
before you build,
just even an acre, and this isn't even in the prime real estate right there in McDonald's. I could only imagine it's probably in the millions, at least for just an acre. And then I actually noticed most of them, they have them small parking lots and stuff. It's a little bit of nothing, but you put a McDonald's on it, and that stuff's worth a pretty penny.
Imagine buying a McDonald's in Manhattan or California.
Yeah, that's probably a good portion of that 70 million that they get served. 70 million a day. That's wild.
That's wild.
I don't even know how to fathom
imagine having
that
many customers.
But with that 70 million a day across the world, the average sales of a location is $2.9 million a year. So that's quite a bit of burgers they're flipping out per location. That's $3 million. That's almost 3 million burgers.
They do it the best.
Just each location, that's pretty crazy. And then the average profit is about 10% ROI, which is about the same that we look for, like I said, on our investment properties too, as far as rentals. So,
and that's for each individual franchise, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And then, which that 2% is about $290,000 on average. So, the average invested from all the franchises that have started from, in the last couple years is about $2 million. So that's pretty impressive. And like we mentioned earlier, that's about an 8.5-9 year return on investment. And that contract is good for 7. They want you to pay it off in 7, and then you start getting your return on investment within that next year to 2 years.
And the average owner, they typically bring in at about $123,000 per year. Obviously, all these numbers are really dictated by location.
Yep.
But that's not bad at all.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Number of franchises. How many we got? Well, there's 39,000, but I think the updated number is
Google that.
40. I think I just.
Yep. They did just rise, and actually that's
40,031.
That's the thing
currently.
with these statistics. They are constantly growing. They're a real estate company.
That's from 2021, so it might even be more than that.
Yeah, they're literally is a new McDonald's every 15 hours going in somewhere, opening up. That's pretty crazy. So, and their annual sales across the whole is $100 billion, not million, billion.
That's gross.
Across the whole world, 50,000 acres making $100 billion. That's impressive.
I think the only continent without a McDonald's is Antarctica, which obviously
is it?
Yeah.
Which this is
I don't know why
I don't believe in this.
We don't even have that one written down. I just knew that.
This that Tyler Oliveira dude, he did like Flat Earthers or something, and he went to Antarctica, and this dude was like, "Hey, Antarctica is our circle. Like we can't go to Antarctica, and they won't actually let you without a tourist in Antarctica to explore.
You're really not.
Which is
kind
kinda
of weird.
weird.
You're not supposed to go there. So weirdly enough, no country owns Antarctica.
But I don't believe we're flat earthers.
No.
Earthers. Earthers. What the hell? I'm sorry.
But
I'll blame it on my allergies.
no country owns Antarctica, and yeah, you're not
Really?
allowed. You're not allowed.
I didn't know
There's
that.
like some sort of pact.
Is
between-
Antarctica not a country?
No,
Huh.
it's a continent. But
What countries are in Antarctica?
like Russia, I don't know all the countries that have an agreement, but they kind of like everybody shares it. But nobody's like tried to. You would think that over time,
That's probably why you can't go there alone, because you get pooped on.
everybody owns. Yeah,
Someone's
everybody's,
gonna come and kill you if you go there.
yeah. So
Don't go there.
they're on every continent besides Antarctica. That's a fact.
That's pretty cool. And actually, another small little fact about McDonald's. And I didn't even know this when I went there until after the fact. But I went to Sedona, Arizona with my buddy Jeremy, and a favorite trip I ever went on. And they have the only green arches in America. I don't know if it's worldwide. Yeah, McDonald's. Check and see if it's worldwide. I know it's for sure in America. But the reason is because they have a low light pollution out there, because stargazing and UFOs are so big out there in the desert. And
West Sedona,
yep,
built in 1993.
yeah, the only green arches in the world
in the world.
that are not yellow. So that's pretty impressive too. And I actually visited that McDonald's
That's pretty
on
cool.
four wheeler, because you can literally ride four wheelers on the road and just cut off any trail you want and go explore the desert. Like
They
it's
say
so cool.
it contrasts too much against the red rock.
Yeah,
If
and
it's
it
yellow.
illuminates the sky at night,
Huh.
you know. And that's
That's
like I
pretty
said,
cool.
they have a low light pollution. There's no street lights or nothing out there, you know. Even the
Oh,
gas
okay, hold
stations
on.
ain't got lights in them at night. It's scary out there at
Yeah.
night. And people tell you they don't go out at night because people rob people, because there's no damn lights.
Actually, there's 4 locations with the turquoise arches.
In Arizona.
Belgium, Paris,
Okay.
and Monterey, California.
Okay,
and
so
then
that's the
Sedona.
only one in America then.
California.
Oh, California?
Has
Monterey.
one. They have one. No. Oh, okay. I'm wrong. They have California has a location with black arches.
Why black?
I read that wrong.
That's scary.
4 locations. Yes, it is the only one in the world with green arches. There's 4 locations with arches that aren't yellow. Belgium and Paris have white arches, and then California, a California location.
White
with
arches?
Black. Yeah.
I want to go visit all these different colored arches. That is going to be my goal. McDonald's sponsor us, and we will, as a
travel
podcast,
the
go
world.
to each of
Do a
these
podcast
McDonald's.
in every McDonald's.
Dude, we are setting this up. Let's go ahead.
Write it down.
McDonald's
Yeah.
podcast.
Manifest it.
No, it's happening, man. We'll get some sponsors, and we'll figure it out.
We'll
But
come at you live from those
And we will,
McDonald's.
That would
yes.
be really
we will
cool.
come at you
I
live.
would
My
totally do that.
hotspot is crazy. I literally play Xbox in my car on road trips.
I know, that's wild.
Off hotspot. And it's still faster than his internet at home.
Easy now.
But he's
That's
got
on-
probably
that's on
BB
BB
Tel or
that's on
something.
BB-Tel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're trash. I ain't sorry.
Easy now. Don't cut my internet off.
No, yeah. I don't like BB Tel. We have it at the office, and
It does okay.
literally my computer don't work
It's-
right next to the router. But if I move it 15, 20 foot away from the router, it works.
Which I installed BB.
That's
internet.
what it is. He
No,
installed it here.
Josh.
I did
He
not.
messed it
I
up.
did not
Yeah,
install,
Josh messed it up.
I did not install this office, but
Oh, you did the electric here. That's why our
I
electric's messed
installed-
up. That's why we think we got ghosts.
We've never had electric issues besides the ghosts that we have in the office. That's
Oh,
the
I'm just
problem.
messing with you, brother.
BB Tel, they're pretty solid, you know.
No, they are.
got
And they're here quick. If we do have issues, I
got
will say they get hit. Yeah,
direct-
so down. But if we do have issues, they come pretty promptly and they fix it, like that. And then they do say call them, but we're just too lazy to call them sometimes. So
You
it might be
call-
on
you
us.
Call me and I fix it.
We try to call Josh.
Sometimes.
But also, if you haven't noticed, which you don't see, we still do not have the plug in here that Josh knows how to do. So don't call Josh.
I don't have the equipment.
Well, we'll get. Actually,
Oh,
Danny has the equipment.
Danny has
Danny
it. We
has
need
it
to-
because we did it at the house.
We need to grab that.
We need
just
to grab
a
that.
Cat 5 Yeah. Yeah.
One of our viewers sent it in. We don't have no viewers. No, I'm just kidding. But let's go over. Is it worth it? Do you think it's worth investing into the McDonald's franchise?
I think if you can find the proper location, obviously if you have the money, I don't think it's a bad idea, especially if you like McDonald's.
I mean, the annual profit's about $3 million, so that's hard to pass up.
It's really not bad. No, I mean,
that's actually,
you get a good manager. I think it's worth definitely getting into.
We should do one over Dairy Queen too, because I've actually been looking for a client of mine to purchase some Dairy Queen. So I've been calling every Dairy Queen in Kentucky. There's 264 locations.
We should make a franchises episode.
Yeah, we should actually. That would be a good one.
All the franchises.
Yeah.
Restaurants.
Yep.
Whatever else.
Yeah, the main ones in Kentucky, because I seen that Subway and KFC are the two leading companies behind McDonald's as far as real estate, because they purchased theirs too, which I know I mentioned Starbucks is a big one because they're kind of still an up and coming company compared to KFC and Subway and
Starbucks,
stuff like that.
No, I think you're wrong. I think Starbucks is one of the biggest.
Oh no, I just did the research today, son.
I think they have like 35,000, 38,000 locations. They're right behind McDonald's. They're right on them.
But they're not. They're behind them.
Give us a comment of what
And I said
franchise
they're the
you want
oldest.
us to go over too.
The oldest.
Like they're right behind.
Okay,
Starbucks is newer,
see
is
it
what I
rank.
said.
Oh yeah. No, you're right. 7-Eleven is the biggest franchise. 78,000 locations. They have 30,000 more locations.
I believe there was like 5 on one
McDonald's.
block in New York when we went there. It's kind of crazy.
Hey, but number 3, Subway.
Subway's in front of McDonald's now?
No. McDonald's number 2.
Okay, I was about to say. Oh, this list says what Jalen just said.
KFC number 4. But
right behind Subway.
This isn't updated.
Oh my gosh, Josh, get out of here. I just did this research today, son.
Starbucks isn't even on here. I just Googled it.
I know, that's what I was telling you. They're not.
They must have closed a lot of locations.
They're new, is what I'm saying, is why they're not. I know, McDonald's is bigger than
Remax
Remax.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
they're the leading real estate. I mean,
11,000 or 9,000
across the world. I used to work at Remax, I ain't gonna lie, and that's why I went to Remax. They're the biggest company in worldwide, for real estate, as far as real estate companies go.
Right.
But as far as companies that own real estate, McDonald's is even ahead of them. And that's pretty impressive.
Dude, I love this episode.
No, this is a good episode. But come at me again. I was right. I did the research, Josh. I ain't going to prepare this and not do the research.
I know.
But like we said, the average invested was $1.8 million. The average that a year per owner they make about $130,000, and the number of franchises was 39,000, and the annual sales was $100 billion. And then, like I said earlier in the show, McDonald's directly owns and operates 15% of all McDonald's currently, but they're trying to get that number down to 5% because
to be just franchises.
Yeah, they just want to be, like you said, property managers. They don't want to make money, as much as a booming business
Which
it is.
Kind of wild to think about.
It is. That should blow your mind. And that should honestly interest you to invest in real estate, because that is the biggest investment you can make. And if these companies are so big and their main priority is investing in real estate, why shouldn't you? I think that's something that people don't really look at. And even with these rising prices, you don't see these companies buying less and less. 2-3 years ago, the average McDonald's was put in every 17 to 18 hours, and now it's already grew to 15 per hour, or not 15 per hour, 1 per 15 hours. So that's pretty impressive. And then some other interesting facts was whenever the Queen of England was alive, she actually owned a McDonald's. So that's something I feel like a lot of people don't know. I didn't know until today, but I'm like, my McChicken's going to taste better tomorrow.
I know this isn't McDonald's, but I don't know how much he owns of it, but Warren Buffett, so he was rich way before Dairy Queen, but he ended up
did Dairy Queen?
Yeah, he ended up purchasing
a big
share of Dairy Queen, but it was just because he ate there every day.
That stuff is good food.
I want to buy Dairy Queen.
Their chicken, their burgers, their onion rings, their fries, everything is good about Dairy Queen. Cool. That is probably my favorite fast food restaurant. Then Wendy's, then McDonald's. I hate Subway. I hate KFC.
My favorite, probably Cane's.
Ooh, that is good.
Cane's is my favorite.
That originated in Kentucky, didn't it?
I think so.
I think so as well. And the name was actually originated from the dog that he had.
Really, Cane's?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think I remember that. I think like
They
if you
got
go
plaques in the.
if you go in the
yeah.
restaurant, yeah, they got plaques.
Actually, I was up off Rockford Lane a few years ago with my wife. We was eating some lunch up there in Louisville, and I was just eating my chicken casually, and here comes an officer and some man he's chasing through the restaurant. And then we just watch him, and about a half mile down the street, we seen him. He just tackles him, locks him up, and then they walk back through the restaurant. And the cop's like, we got him, and I'm like, you can't make that stuff up. It is kind of funny. And I've never seen nothing like that in my life.
I don't think Canes is from Kentucky, but I know Rallies is.
Where's Canes from?
Canes is from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Louisiana, you're right. You are right about that.
Rallies started with just Rallies and Checkers.
Yep.
The same thing.
I don't really like Rallies or Checkers.
They're the same different name, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they are. They're same owner.
Rallies is okay. It used to be a lot better.
Their fries, they're bussin'.
Oh, they have one of the best fries.
They're Brussin' Brothers.
Well, what's your favorite fry? What's your favorite fry?
They're Brussin' Brothers. Oh, my favorite fry?
Zaxby's fries. Cane's chicken.
Zaxby's, that little seasoning they put on them, that's where it's at.
Yep.
I don't know. I like the shoestring fries. I like all fries, other than steak fries. I'm not a big steak fry guy.
If they're done right. If you go up to Muscle
They
Burger
have no
Bar,
season.
Muscle
I've been
Burger
there.
Bar in
I've been there.
Louisville, they
I
got
don't remember,
great steak fries.
but I've been there. I might have not had fries.
But at that point, you're just eating a whole ass potato.
And like we mentioned earlier too, a little fun fact is that the original McDonald's family does not get any royalties from the McDonald's now into this date. So that's something I figured that they would have held on to.
Their original deal, or did it expire?
I think that you looked it up and you said that that one guy bought it for like $3 million or something back in the day.
2.7 million.
2.7 million.
1961.
And then just for like another little fun fact, so McDonald's fee is 5%, and their franchise fee is $45,000. Chick-fil-A fee is about $20,000, and their monthly fee is 15%. Which we love Chick-fil-A, but
Chick-fil-A is one of the cheapest to start up. They might have more fees later on, but if you want to open a location of Chick-fil-A in Brandenburg, that'd be awesome.
Oh man, I'd come there instead of McDonald's any day in a heartbeat. If Elizabethtown wasn't so far away, I would take care of that every day. I would buy stock in Chick-fil-A just for me to eat there every morning to make it rise. Anything else y'all got? Any other questions, concerns, comments?
Ethan, you got any fun facts about McDonald's?
I don't. I think you all knocked it out of the park.
We did.
We did great.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Before we leave, please give us a like, share, subscribe, comment. Anything helps, and it goes a long way, and it's totally free for you guys. And before we tune off, Josh, you want to give a thanks?
Yeah, I want to give a big thanks to our title sponsors for today. Big shout out to Collier Title Company. If you need deed prep, title work, closings, and more, they're located in Brandenburg, E-Town, and Louisville. You can call them at 270-763-6589. And then I want to give a big shout out to Chad Gooden at Supreme Lending. If you have any lending questions, or if you're trying to get approved FHA, VA, conventional, and more, he's located off of North Mulberry Street in E-Town. And then I want to thank this week's sponsor, T&J Construction. They've been in business since 2009. They're out of Meade County. If you need roofing, guttering, or construction work, you can give them a call at 270-668-2806.
Please tune in next week. We thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah.